Kira and I live in downtown Miami. In particular, we live in a high-rise apartment building named Monarch at Met. I wanted to tell you a little more about Monarch so you can get a better idea of what Miami life is like for us. Monarch is also named Met 3 and is part of a larger Metropolitan Miami real estate project with 3 of 4 planned buildings eventually constructed. Met 3 was planned to be 76 stories tall and the tallest residential building south of New York City. But the Great Recession of the late 2000s forced the Metropolitan team to redesign Met 3 to have a more modest design it has today. With 32 floors instead of 76, and with units spread out in an L shape over the parking ramp instead of all up front. This no doubt drastically reduced the construction and maintenance costs. They also switched it from being a planned condo building to being apartments to fill an underserved niche at that time and still today, and thusly we ended up living here. One interesting consequence of the mid-course correction on the Met 3 project is that it has a massively oversized 13-story parking ramp. The basement level is dedicated to the Whole Foods supermarket at ground level. Floors 9 through 12 are gated off exclusively for Monarch residents, and the rest is a public parking ramp. I think the Met team expected most of that to actually be resident parking for a much larger resident population. Construction on the ramp and the Whole Foods began in 2011. The apartments were eventually added in front of and on top of it later, using the newer design. And so now many of the middle parking ramp floors remain empty. Monarch really is in the middle of downtown, which also puts it close to the Miami River. Across the river is the famed Brickell neighborhood, which is even more upscale than downtown. But Monarch is just up the street from the large Bayfront Park and located in the heart of Miami's financial district, and literally at the end of Interstate 95's downtown distributor ramps. Monarch is an island surrounded by a moat of 4 busy city streets. It's wonderful having the Whole Foods right in our building too. We can't just get there by a direct elevator, cool as that would be. We do have to exit and walk around the building to get to it, but it's still immensely convenient. Kira and I don't shop there that often for various reasons. We order online from Publix and have our groceries delivered to our door, which is even more convenient. But we do sometimes go for fresh meat and produce and specialty items. It's also a great place to grab a quick to-go meal from their cold and hot bars. From the entrance, Monarch looks and feels like an upscale hotel. It even gets confused for one at times. The dedicated inner lane that loops around part of the building and extra drop-off driveway right in front make it convenient to avoid the more dangerous traffic speeding around the building at all hours. And the 24/7 concierge desk helps direct visitors and delivery people to their destinations. In addition to the decorative mailroom up front, there is also an automated package locker system for secure delivery from Amazon or whoever else. We use a special app to wirelessly unlock them when we go to retrieve them. And then it's on to the key fob secured elevators to get to our floor. The second floor offers a quiet lounge and workspace overlooking the lobby. It's also where the management staff has their offices. There's also a set of small offices available for residents looking for a little quiet time away from their homes upstairs. Despite how attractive and useful this floor looks, I don't think it gets much use by residents. We typically park at the top on the 12th floor. Immediately above that is the pool deck, or PD level. In practice, it's far more than that though. Monarch has an excellent fitness center. I'll admit that I have not taken nearly enough advantage of it as I have intended to. But I do get down here now and then for an upper body workout. My wife and I walk all over town. That's great aerobic exercise and keeps our legs in good shape. But here I have the Nautilus-style machines I favor for getting in better shape from the waist up, and Kira finds the aerobic machine she craves overlooking the pool deck. And then there's the lounge. It's a surprisingly large room with several distinct areas and activities. There are multiple seating areas with different group orientations and levels of intimacy, not to mention styles. There are various TVs around as well. Thankfully, they're always silent when I visit. The lounge has an excellent view of the pool deck outside. There are a few game tables for pool, foosball, and shuffleboard. And there is a large cooking and dining space that residents can reserve for parties at no charge. I had the funny idea that I would make lots of friends by now and would start hosting parties here. Needless to say, that hasn't happened, but then I have yet to see anyone else using the space to date. There's also a set of chilled wine lockers you can rent. I also haven't seen any of these in use either. While I'm not a complete water rat, I'll say that I really love Monarc's pool and pool deck. I don't get out here often enough, but there's a lot to appreciate about it. When I was doing my research into the area, a good pool was high on my priority list of amenities. I knew I wasn't likely to be getting out to nearby Miami Beach that often for a swim, so I wanted to have a convenient, capacious, and comfortable pool for exercising and relaxation. I don't like that this one maxes out at about 5 feet deep. It means I can't actually tread water like I wish to sometimes. But I like that it has a zero-depth entry at one end. I like that it is primarily purified by salt water instead of straight-up chlorine, far more pleasant to my senses and less likely to bleach one's fabrics. And I like that it's heated. It becomes very obvious when the heater is broken how big of a difference it makes. The view from the pool is probably one of the best for an apartment in the area. The pool deck is festooned with tropical plants and stylish planters to start with, but it's also surrounded by both Monarch's upper floors and the surrounding high-rise buildings. I end up swimming out here more often after dark than during the day. There's something very cosmopolitan about floating on the water, looking up at the taller buildings, and watching commercial jetliners flying low overhead. As with the lounge inside, the pool deck has several lounging areas to choose from. There are open sun deck chairs on one side of the pool and covered cabanas on the other. But there's a whole other maze of outdoor couch nooks that give people a little extra privacy and distance from the pool. And there are 2 sizable grill and seating areas for outdoor dining, not to mention outdoor pool and ping pong tables and a bowling lawn. As a side note, the 12th floor parking ramp empties out onto a rooftop parking. Monarch has dedicated this space to a dog walking area. It has elevated fake grass on top of the concrete and understandably smells like dog urine. I thought it important to check this out once. Thankfully, we don't have a dog. And I appreciate that many of Monarch's dog owners take their pets for walks in the nearby park, too. A quick note. We are fortunate to have a trash chute on our way to the elevator. We all must use the elevator to get up to our floors. Carrying trash down that way would suck. So let me give you a quick tour of our apartment. We rent a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment on a high floor of Monarch. Although we share the whole space, Kira and I have our own separate offices. Out of respect for Kira's privacy, I won't show off her office. And I'll skip describing the details. You can see just about everything for yourself. Instead, I'll give you some general impressions of what it's like to live here. Our most basic impression is that we love this apartment. I've owned 3 different homes and have rented at least 8 different apartments over the years. This one is by far the best place I've ever lived. It's also the most expensive. We're paying about $2,500 in rent and another $100 for one space in the parking ramp. We got that deal in late 2020 in preparation for moving here in February. If we were to rent one of the similar units available right now, it would be at least $1,000 more. As in many cities in the US, rents have skyrocketed this year. We'll see if that settles down a bit by the time our 13-month lease is up. Will we choose to live here when that lease expires? If our rent doesn't go up by much, then there's a very good chance we will stay. This apartment is stylish. Beyond the nice fixtures, we both love the broad windows. We don't need to turn lights on during the day. Our view is filled with modern high-rise buildings, but not crowded by them. We have a wide view. Our view even includes a slice of the bay all the way out to Miami Beach and the Atlantic Ocean beyond. We can sprawl out in a spacious 2-bedroom apartment that's easily big enough for 4 adults with room to spare for entertaining. And with our work-from-home businesses, we are never in each other's way when we do Zoom meetings and such. We have no children and no pets to take care of. We are free to enjoy our own separate pursuits and to enjoy most of our meals together at home and occasionally out at local restaurants. Right across the street is one of our favorites. A block away is one of our other favorites. And there are more than enough places at all price scales within a short walk that we never have to get in the car to go out to eat. In fact, we rarely drive anywhere. 2 weeks can easily go by without us setting foot in the parking ramp. And being parked up on the 12th floor, the car is never going to get flooded by a sudden downpour or storm surge. The $2,600 we spend to live at Monarch puts us in the middle of Miami's downtown area. We love walking, and night walking is such a pleasure here. We can walk for miles amidst one of America's freshest cities and see thousands of beautiful people out having a great time wherever they are going. We can walk through Bayfront Park at any time of day or night and sit on the seawall overlooking the bay. We can wander at midnight through a throng of revelers at Bayside Marketplace out partying or returning from night cruises. We can take a 20-minute drive out to the beach and pay $10 to park and swim in bath temperature crystal clear water for a couple of hours. Life is good where we are. It's expensive to live the good life here at Monarch at Met, but I truly think it's worth it. Kira and I consciously decided to treat this first-year lease as an extended vacation. It sure feels like one. There's a little more of the tour ahead. I hope you enjoy the rest. So, does this help give you an idea of what it's like to live here? Please let me know in the comments section. And feel free to ask whatever questions you have. I'll try to answer as best I can. Cheers!